Should your citizenship and residency be in separate countries? Well, the flag theory says it should be. If you go on our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, you'll notice the flag theory at the top talks about getting your citizenship where you live, where you make your money, where you spend your money. It should be in separate places. And I truly believe that. That's the reason the flag theory has this is you don't want to do anything that's going to get you in trouble, that's going to jeopardize your passport. And usually if you're not working in that country, you're not having to do with anything in that country except having your passport, then the chances of you having a problem will be very, very low. And that's why the flag theory came out. And of course, we got a separate video on that. You can look at that. But the things I want to go over with you today is a lot of people think that they should keep their residency and their citizenship, or the country where they have their citizenship, in two separate countries. And I totally believe in that. But there are some problems that you're going to have when you reside in a country that has it's a different country than your passport country. And let me tell you some of the problems that you'll run into here. And I've mentioned this in a few other videos. I've touched on this. You take St. Kitts, for instance, probably 90-something% of the people that get passports in St. Kitts don't actually move to St. Kitts and make that their permanent residency. The problem that you run into is if you're happy with where you're at and you want to just get a second passport, that's fine. This probably won't have any effect on you, but if you getting a passport in a different country than where you're residing, but that country you're residing, you don't have citizenship in that country, you can have real problems trying to set up a business in your profession in that country, because almost every country in the world has some professions within that country that's only available for citizens. Malaysia's that way, Panama's that way, Belize is that way. I can go on and on and on. And it's going to take you years and years and years to get the passport, unless you do an economic citizenship where you get it fast. So, if you go in a country, you need to take in consideration, is your type of profession, is it a highly statutory type business? They're going to require some sort of license, because what I found out is the ones that are the businesses that have usually more licenses involved, it's more lucrative businesses, they have reserved those for citizens. Panama is a good classic example for it. Panama, they'll tell you, come on down, you can get residency here, you can work, you have the right to work. They tell you everything except on the fine dotted line. They don't tell you that there are some businesses that you can't get in with Panama. And it's not just Panama, a lot of countries have this. And this is why I tell people you really should get your citizenship. You don't have to do this, but I'm saying that you ought to try to shoot to get your citizenship in the country where you think that you would like to live if you wanted to move there. Because what happens is if you get the passport in, let's say, St. Kitts, and then you move to Panama, okay, and then all of a sudden you decide you want to get in the insurance business. Well, you can't do it because you got to be a citizen in Panama. And then if you reside in Panama and then want to get the passport 10 and 15 years later, you're going to have to relinquish your other passports. If it's in St. Kitts or wherever it is, U.S., you would have to give that up because you can't have a passport in any country but Panama. And that's the way that their laws are. Now, St. Kitts does allow dual citizenship. Belize allows dual citizenship. Paraguay allows dual citizenship, and we've got some other videos dealing with this. But like I said, if you're going to be setting up your citizenship and a passport in a country, and then you're going to go to another country where you're going to reside that's different than that where you got that passport, then you need to find out for sure before you move if you can actually work in that country that you don't have the citizenship in with that type business that you have. Because, getting citizenship is nice when you have it in a separate country from where you live. The problem you have is being able to work in that certain industries, and a lot of cases they'll try to bar you out of doing that. I've seen this happen a lot, and most countries have, businesses that you just can't work in unless you're a citizen. So you really need to take that consideration before you actually, move to a country, spend thousands of dollars moving, and then getting a passport in a separate country. But the flag theory is right in that you really should separate those out. But some cases, if you're wanting to be in let's say the insurance industry, and that country that you're moving to that you don't have citizenship in, but you do want to reside there, then you might want to switch that. You switch it to the country where you're getting your citizenship and passport in, although the flag theory says you shouldn't do that. I really believe the flag theory is good, though, because it really does. It separates problems that you're going to have in the future, and it really gives you insurance on your planning, because you really want to keep those separate. So you have to make a decision ahead of time what type of business you're going to be in and what sort of problems are you going to have, from doing this. These are things that you really need to sit down and really map out and write down and make sure before you actually start putting this into action. And a lot of people don't do that ahead of time. But one thing I will tell you is if you do this, if you go and you reside in a country, I would always tell you to do it if it's a different country than your passport. If you get like a fast track program in St. Kitts, and then you decide that you want to live in a country, let's say like Malaysia, or it could be Panama, okay? Both of those countries do not allow dual citizenship, and they do have a real good tax system, but you also have to relinquish your other passport if you go that route, if you want to get a second passport there. So you need to take this in consideration. Anyway, I've come out with a lot of information on this before, so you can look at our other videos on this. But one thing I will tell you that you need to always keep in mind is always get your citizenship or passport in a program where you know that that you can speak the language. That's the key right there, and always get in a passport and a citizenship. Before you have a problem, because once you have a problem, it's too late to do that. So you have to plan ahead of time on this. And I would pick either a territorial tax system or a pure tax haven country to get your passport in. This is one of the reasons I don't like Turkey. Turkey has a high tax, where they tax you on your worldwide income if you live there, reside there all the time. So you have to decide, do you want to pay that high tax? So always pick a territorial tax system or either a pure tax haven for your passport, and make sure you have visa-free travel to at least the Schengen countries, and that you speak the language fluently. Don't try to learn another language. It can be very complicated. You don't have to do it, and I wouldn't do it. I would go with a country that already speaks your language. But you want to keep that tax system either with the territorial or pure tax haven. And always pick a country, like I said, that has high visa-free travel, where you can at least go to the Schengen countries. And remember this, that to do your homework before you take off and go to a country, make sure that you can get in that type business, that they're not going to bar you out if you're not going to get citizenship there. This is the key thing. And by not knowing the language, I'm going to tell you, it takes a lot longer to get things done. You're going to waste a lot of time if you don't know the language. So you need to plan this ahead of time. If you want to learn more on how to legally get your taxes to zero, how to get a second passport as quick as 3 to 4 months, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com. You can get more information on this. And also, if you'll hit the subscribe button to the right of your screen, you'll get new videos as they come out automatically. Also, I'd like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put that below. And we don't deal with just one or two countries. We deal with about 74 countries. And so, if you get our website, just go into the contact information and send that to us on what your questions are, or you can actually go to the top of the screen and where it says apply with us, and you can hit that, and there's questions, just send that back to us. You can do it right on the computer, and we'll get back with you and see what we can do to help you out. And I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.